The Hamptons are rich in history and very proud of it. There are numerous wonderful and informative activities and events that you can enjoy this summer and right up until the end of fall.
We have a tribe of Native Americans.
At the center stage of the celebration is an outstanding lecture and tour series on East Hampton's glorious heritage, hosted by local historians. In East Hampton, you'll find Home Sweet Home, built in 1650. This saltbox house was the boyhood home of John Howard Payne, composer of the colonial American classic of the same name. Next to the Payne house is the Mulford Farmhouse, a functional slice of Hampton's life built in 1680. The Clinton Academy, built in 1784, was the first private academy chartered by the New York State Board of Regents. The Clinton Academy was also one of the first coeducational academies in New York State. Throughout East Hampton, which was originally called Maidstone, the old stands next to the new. Main Street was once the grazing ground for village livestock. Historic windmills dot the picturesque landscape, some of which have their millworks still intact. At the entrance to the village of East Hampton, one of your first sights is across the village pond to the South End Cemetery. The earliest of East Hampton's residents are buried here in gravestones that tell the story of their harsh lives. It's also the resting place of one of the East End's most important historical figures, Lion Gardner, the British commander who in the early 1600s was approached by the leader of Long Island's Indian tribes, Wyandanch, with a proposal for peaceful coexistence between British settlers and the local tribes. This peaceful coexistence led to the development of eastern Long Island without rancor or bloodshed. Shortly after the agreements between Wyandanch and Gardner, the settlement of the East End of Long Island began in earnest. The first settlers, a collection of farmers, herders, and craftspeople who arrived from Massachusetts, landed on the East End at Conscience Point, and Southampton was established in 1640. Visit the Southampton Historical Museum with its mini village and historical artifacts open to the public during the summer season. Along with its wealth of history, of which we've only slightly touched on in this program, the Hamptons are a place of inspiring natural beauty. The Nature Conservancy has listed the Hamptons ecosystem as one of the 10 last great environmental ecosystems on Earth. Long Island was formed from earth and rock deposited by glaciers that advanced during the Ice Age. Sand was deposited over this rich base, forming the dunes, which give much of the Hamptons its distinctive look. The entire ecosystem is very young in geologic terms and continually changing. Shoreline erosion is a major concern, especially near Montauk Lighthouse. The lighthouse was originally set hundreds of feet back from the cliffs to withstand beach erosion and last 200 years. It has lasted 202 years so far, but now enormous efforts are being made to preserve this landmark beacon from being claimed by the sea. Artists claim that the light is better in the Hamptons than anywhere else. From Winslow Homer and Thomas Moran with the Tile Club to Roy Lichtenstein, many have come here to live and paint. William Merritt Chase set up his famed outdoor school of art in Shinnecock Hills in the 1800s, beginning a tradition of art education that still exists today. In 1945, Jackson Pollock arrived, bringing not only other artists, including William de Kooning, but an entirely new movement, abstract expressionism. If you'd like to explore what the area has to offer, you can browse the many art galleries in each village or visit Guild Hall in East Hampton, which has 3 large galleries, along with a series of exciting concerts and ongoing events year-round. On Job's Lane in Southampton, the Parish Art Museum celebrates its centennial. The museum's founder, Samuel Longstreth Parish, fell in love with the Hamptons in the early 1880s. Parish decided to build a museum in Southampton to house his rapidly growing collection of Italian Renaissance art. He commissioned the architect Grosvenor Atterbury to design a suitable structure. The small but impressive collection of European paintings, principally Italian works, which were always hung in the museum, are still exhibited there. The museum's main importance, however, rests on its current 2,000-piece collection, which contains mainly 19th and 20th century American paintings and works on paper. The collection is today recognized as one of the finest of its kind in the country. And as befitting a loyal constituent of the Hamptons, the collection is heavily representative of artists associated with Eastern Long Island. After viewing the galleries, you can walk through the peaceful shaded gardens that surround the museum, where more than 250 different trees and shrubs from around the world grow. Also on display in the gardens are various sculpture reproductions from the original parish collection. The most impressive of these include 18 marble busts of Roman emperors and a bronze fountain of 2 water sprites which Parrish commissioned from the American sculptor Walker Hancock.